Hi everyone.
Hello.
Give us a couple seconds. We're gonna get this shared into our little destinations where it needs
shared.
to go.
Yes.
And then we will get started.
Because we can't go dual live because they took that function away. So I just get to come hang out over here.
You guys are welcome that you get both of us in the same space. That's like even more powerful.
I know. Let's see.
Just saying.
Let's see.
Alright. Got it shared.
Okay. Me too. It's weird watching myself live with the delay.
It's like, what's happening?
Okay. My phone is full of so many memes. Is your phone?
Yes.
Like I scroll through all of my friends' posts, all of your
I'm
posts,
gonna be
and I'm
honest.
like, oh, that's a good meme, and I save it, and I just have like meme.
I'm gonna be honest. My
Central.
meme database is at least 1,000 strong.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mine too.
sure.
Who else has a lot of memes that they share? That
I mean,
are
the content that
Yeah.
I post, I gotta have a
It's
lot,
so great.
right?
It's a
So,
language, though. It's how you like
it is.
throw little nuggets of information out to
Exactly. To
people
the
that
masses.
don't want to read a whole bunch, but they'll,
Just
you
like
know,
just a little tidbit.
just a little nugget. Just a little
All right.
nuggy.
Well, what's up, guys? We are live, and welcome to episode 27 of the Awaken Vlogcast. Today, we're talking about intuition.
Intuition.
So,
Oh yeah.
I have this pulled up so we can see their comments, hopefully.
Okay, good. So
I don't
I
know
put
if you
my
can
phone
read
down
it.
since we have comments there. Okay. Sweet.
All right, so we're going to go over what your intuition is, how to use it, things like that. We're going to share our own experiences, and then if you are just joining us and this is your first time, these are open dialogue conversations, meaning we're sitting here chatting about this with each other and with you, so the viewers always comment and things like that. You're a part of the conversation. So if you have input or questions or whatever, put them in the comments. We'll be sure to answer live because that's how this works.
Yes.
So,
It's
welcome.
awesome. It's fun. It's fun this way.
It is.
We don't just want to talk to each other.
No.
We do that enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright,
it's
so
okay.
we want to talk with you too.
I'm just
So.
kidding. All right, so first off, what is your intuition? How would you describe it? Just off the top of your head, off your intuition.
Off my intuition. It's a feeling. It's a knowing. Something where you may not have reason or facts or details. You're just like, oh, it's that gut feeling, and it's just like you need to follow it. Although I know we've all had those moments where it's like you didn't follow it, and you're like,
so many.
damn it, I knew I should have. And it's just really weird because it's this knowing. You just know things.
Just know
And
shit.
sometimes people don't understand that.
Yeah.
They'll be like, how do you know? Like, what are you talking? You can't possibly know that or understand that. And you're like, but I do.
I can and I do. So.
But it's intangible. You can't touch it or smell it. It's just there inside of you.
It's just alignment. So,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. Let me delete that call real quick.
Can't
All right.
answer a call right now.
So basically, she said, Jordan says, I love the brighter pink, Morgan. Your hair.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I put some more of my pigmented conditioner in.
That's awesome. And Lorraine said, hi. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi.
So yeah, that's how I would definitely describe intuition.
Yeah.
It's just like a knowing. We're not saying hi to anyone here, dude. Just a knowing, like, it's your inner guidance system. And sorry, Ivan's being crazy right now. He's a little party animal today. Yeah, just a knowing, like, I can definitely say there's been times in my life that I knew that I should do the opposite thing that I did, and I went against it, and then it definitely bit me in the ass later.
Oh yeah, and you're just like, damn it! I knew not to do that, or I knew to do that.
And then you say never again, and then it happens again.
Right. It's
at least in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's how it was for me.
It's
I was
almost like
damn.
it's a like a test almost.
Definitely a test.
Because we think about outside the box things a lot, and it's almost
there is no box.
There is no box, exactly. So it's almost like it's just part of your awakening. It's part of your journey and your growth and just training, because it's like a muscle almost. Like, are you listening? Whether you call it God or the universe, or if you're atheist, then it's just, I don't know. It's just a feeling. It's just you. It's still a test of, are you listening to whatever that thing is inside of you, trying to guide you through life. And sometimes we fail, as is with all lessons. Sometimes your best lessons are, I know you don't call it failing. It's just that's the word that we use, but how do you...
Or if you say failing, say failing forward.
Failing forward,
as long as you're going forward momentum, that's fine to use it that way.
Yeah. What's another way you say it? Failing. It's just learning.
I just say there are opportunities. I don't think that there's...
Oh, yeah, growth
the only way to
opportunities.
fail is to not do something.
That's
for me.
true.
I mean, think of... I'm not a fan of Thomas Edison. I'm a Tesla person myself, but...
Thomas Edison stole a lot of
he stole free
ideas.
energy.
He's a stealer.
Well, we won't go into that. That'll be a whole nother episode.
Sorry.
We did talk about wanting to do Tesla.
Yeah.
But I was using him as an example because you know how many designs of the light bulb he had to go through before he actually discovered the light bulb. For the one that worked.
Yeah.
And he could have said he failed every time that he didn't have it right, but really he just learned another way to not do it.
Yeah.
Meaning he was one step closer to figuring it out.
Right.
So I don't really believe in failures. I believe in like lessons or
that's true.
Learning all
that. Yeah, that's a perspective. Yeah. But yeah, people hear that word fail. Like, you know, we get so attached to labels, so we're like, oh, failing is bad. But you know, like actually it's just learning. There's no such thing as failure, even though there may be different outcomes you wish you would have had you decided to listen to your intuition.
Shit happens, okay? Yeah. Listen, everything happens for a reason, even the bad shit. So.
Exactly. But then that's a chance for you to reflect and be like, okay, that feeling that was there, maybe you've ignored it 10 times or your whole life or whatever. Just like, oh, that feeling's trying to tell me something. Maybe next time that happens, maybe I go with that feeling and see what happens. See what ends up being different.
Yeah, I was going to say part of that is recognizing and learning what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of abilities that I have that I actually have very strong now were not always that way. Like, figuring out how they work, how to use them, and then being in alignment with them. And like you said, the muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Like, that's why I'm able to do what I do now.
Yeah. And I love how you say abilities, because it makes you sound like a superhero. But we're all superheroes. We all have abilities.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's an ability.
Yeah. It's a gift.
Yeah.
Anything.
It's an amazing gift.
I honestly believe that we have lots of abilities, honestly, because our DNA, the things that are in there, they call it junk DNA, but it's not.
It's not junk.
There's so much stuff in there that you can unlock, and it's just by being intentional and the mindset stuff. Like, there is such thing as body hacking or biohacking. I don't know if you've heard of that. Yeah, there are people out there. I mean, I've studied some of this stuff. Like, I don't know if you know who Dave Asprey is, but there's a lot of people out there that actually hack their bodies. And to a sense, I think anyone who's in the spiritual realm definitely does that.
Oh, yeah.
Like with intentional
form of hacking.
I mean, think about it. Think about the stuff that I do. I'm sitting there where we're rewiring brains and things like that. Like, that's hacking this program.
Well, because you're aware of the energy, and we are mostly energy. It's like over 99% energy. So if you're aware that people are mostly energy, and that it's a real thing, so of course you're hacking it.
Yeah.
Whereas people are like, oh, this is just my physical body. I'm not an energetic being. Yeah. You know, I can't be a spirit, you know, but you are an energy. And so that's what she does. She hacks that because she's aware of it. And then it works.
It is. It's
like,
so
it works. Because we're reading the emotion code book right now. We talked about that last time, and that's another. Oh yeah, you have yourself.
I got it.
Yeah, that's another form of hacking in a way.
If you're wanting to follow along with this book, we talked about this last live. If you want to get this book, we're going through. It's like an online book club in a way, but we're doing a science experiment also. Yeah. Because you're gonna get blown away by this book. So in case it's backwards, I think it is. It's called The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson, and you can get it on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. Yeah. Anyway, it's awesome. It'll change your life, and you're welcome ahead of time.
Yeah, it's like a form of hacking because emotions get trapped. Emotions are energy, and when you become aware of that and how to deal with that and heal your trapped emotions, you've hacked.
It's fucking awesome.
Hacked yourself.
Yes. I mean, that's what happens when I'm doing the tapping sessions with people. Even like it's funny just to like pull it out, and they're like, "Oh, where'd it go?" I'm like, "It's gone now."
But it's like. Is that magic?
People do. Like, no, people think that sometimes.
Are you a witch? Like, is this witchcraft?
It is.
People call it witchcraft. It's not. It's just.
I mean,
it's just. And witchcraft's not. It's just energy. It's just how you use and are aware of energy. So people get ridiculous with stuff.
So when we're talking about intuition in general, I use that a lot in my sessions, honestly. Because, for example, you know this. You do Reiki, but like when you're doing Reiki on somebody, right? there's some people that will sit there and they will do all the certain hand poses, like, and hold it for so long and do all this, and that's great. I think that's great when you're first learning because you need to build a strong practice and be able to do that. But there's a sense when something switches over. Like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years now, like, where you just know, like, you know where to go next, you know some places to stay longer, you know when it's time to do something different.
Get like in the flow. Almost.
Yeah, it's just, you just become a vessel, and I just follow my intuition, and it's always right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Or if I'm like, you know what? I remember when I first started doing this in sessions, when it first started coming up, and I'm like, that sounds really weird. You should probably not say that to this person. But it's like, it would just keep coming up. It's like, okay, I hear you. And then so, like, I would finally say it, and they're like, yes, that's exactly what it is. And then we would change something, and it's just like...
That's so cool.
So now I don't even question it. I just go with it. I'm just like... I might, like, look at them and be like, hey, this might sound really crazy, but just go with me real quick. We'll do it, and it'll change something like that. And I think that has a lot to do with trust, too, though. But having a safe space to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of my clients have that, so...
Yeah, well, you give off just... You are a safe space. You just give off that energy.
Thank you.
Give off those vibes.
I work very hard for that.
Yes.
Not really, it's natural, but I do work on being...
But you have to work on yourself.
Yes.
Because you weren't always this person.
Hell no, I wasn't. I wasn't this person an hour ago.
This person was underneath all that.
Yeah.
But...
all the programs said hack.
And then at some point your intuition had to come into play then. Like when you're
dude,
you're like the Shrek analogy of like the onion. You're just like the onion with like the crispy skin on the outside. Like you well, that's where you start. You have to start peeling layers away. But at some point when you get into this stuff, it seems crazy and it doesn't make sense, and a lot of people don't understand you when you're trying to explain things, and they're just like, I don't get it. And so at some point you have to trust your intuition and just know that you know what you need to do. Whether it's read a book or go try Reiki for a first time. You trust your intuition, you trust you to guide you to where you need to go. And then you're going to look back 5 years, 10 years, whatever from now, and be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I started trusting my intuition for those crazy things that were popping into my head.
That literally, you just described my journey that I've went on so far. Like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because, okay guys, let me just explain to you. I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing Reiki for 5 years. I would say my awakening when it first started is 2011, so 9 years. Like, I know 9 years doesn't seem like a long time, but it is.
A lot happens
so,
in
like,
9 years.
I just want to explain to you, now that everybody's talking about this kind of stuff, it's more mainstream, okay?
Yeah.
When
mainstream.
Even when I started my journey, like, there were not a lot of people that talked about this stuff, or they look at you like you're crazy, like...
I mean, we're thinking 9 years ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, even 2 years ago.
I know.
So think about, that's a...
So it's very interesting to see how things have evolved, like... Yeah. It's really cool, because I'm like, yes, I've been talking about this, and now people are on board, and we can talk about it.
Yes.
Oh, Lorraine says, shoot, going to have to watch replay, son is calling.
That's okay. Talk to your son.
Good.
Talk to your son.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just move this real quick. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty cool to see that because I did follow my intuition. I knew that was the next right thing for me to do. Even though it felt very uncomfortable at first because it was scary as shit. Because I didn't know anybody else doing those things. I know. Nobody else around me was doing those things.
So you
I was
alone.
A little lone wolf,
You're like
flames going through the darkness.
And I can't see anything.
That's exactly how it was. Just my machete, just clearing away, whatever. But it was worth it. Because look, because I followed my intuition, now the impact that it has, now all the years of knowledge and things that I've learned, I'm just able to like use so easily to help other people now.
It's really cool because I'd say my awakening started, probably like very beginning, like 8 years ago, but it's really ramped up in the past year or two. And I totally just lost my train of thought.
Your awakening.
This happened. My awakening. And God, I don't know where I was going with that. See, this happens. This is live. Because what were you talking? You're trying your awakening, and then mine, and then my mom brain kicked in because I started thinking about it's Sorry. It's my mom brain. Damn it.
It's okay. It'll come back.
It will come back.
Stop thinking about it. Let your intuition lead you.
It's okay. Keep talking.
Mallory said, oh wait, we have more. Oh wait, why are these not popping up? Lori said, and even trusting your intuition to even know who to share with, who is ready to receive what I have to share. So yes, that's true. Here's the other thing with that. I release all attachments to things. Like, I posted something the other day about this, and it's true about being connected to everything, but releasing attachments to everything. Because
that's good. I like that.
You can be connected, but you don't have to be attached to the outcome. So, like, even with sharing things, like, even if I would have done that, like, who's ready to receive it? Like, that's not up to me. Like, I'm just here to speak my truth and spread that message, and whoever's supposed to receive it will receive it. Yeah. Because there are people out there who are ready to receive those things that are in alignment, that are naturally drawn, because like vibration attracts like vibration. And so when you're speaking your truth, that's why it works. You inspire other people to do the same, because vibrationally they match you. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I was saying about that. Yeah. And then Mallory said, my intuition has always guided me. 100%. Has anyone that's watching, and I'm asking this and I already know the answer, has anyone not listened to their intuition and like immediately regretted it, or afterwards like, damn it, I knew this? Yes. I've done that so many times. Yes. Even sometimes now, like,
oh yeah, well, I still do it
not
now.
as often as it used to, but there'll be times that I'll do it and I'm like, damn it, I knew that. Why did I? Because I got in my head about it. That's why. I don't know what his problem is. No.
Ivan was making some sad sounds. It's okay. She'll be back.
Or will I?
Oh, there you are. Okay. You can do that.
Just popping in and out of his live
That's
day.
okay. This is real life. We don't
yes,
stage anything. And this is,
if I didn't do that, you would hear it.
We have brain farts. I have more brain farts because I start thinking about random stuff, and I'm like, what?
This is why we go with notes, because if not, my ADD would be like, squirrel.
Yes.
Anyway, so what we're basically getting at is everyone has intuition. This is not just a gift that one person has or whatever. Everybody has this ability. Just like even the ability to channel Reiki, everybody has that ability. And it's just tapping into that, using it, and building that to make it stronger.
And believing in it.
True.
And you have to believe in it. Because I'm sure there's some people out there like, oh, intuition. Like, it's
like
crappy. Like, I don't know, or I just have to follow the rules and do what I'm supposed to, and I can't venture off the path at all. And
screw that.
So they bury their intuition, and that's not
true.
That's
okay.
Not
That's
good.
a
That
great
makes me
point.
sad.
That's a great point. Okay, I will tell you this. I think kids, especially the kids now, the indigos that are all in. If you guys don't know what indigo children are, we should do an episode on indigo kids. I think that would help a lot of people. There's so many right now. Anyway, so kids in general are very open and very intuitive, and I think it's interesting that one of the things that parents sometimes do, if they're especially unconscious parents, they program that out of them. Like, they'll make kids second guess their intuition, like, so then the kid will stop listening to it and turn it off. And some of these kids have some of these abilities that I'm like, man, if you only knew what you were doing.
That makes me sad.
Yeah. And then they'll come back to it later in life sometimes.
Right.
But I work, like, with a lot of my clients. There's people that have said that, like, I used to have it all the time as a kid, and then, somebody said something to me, it's like, what, using it? Yeah. But then now, like, decades later, they're returning to it, and it's like, where could that have gotten you this whole time if you've been using it?
That's really sad, because kids are so amazing and intuitive, and they're so innocent, and, they come into the world, they're not programmed at all, and then we, like, bombard them with all this programming and all these things, and then they start to just kind of, we put them in a box, essentially. Like, here's the box, this is what you're supposed to do, color inside the lines, and don't do this, be careful there, and like, so we really just put all this on them, and it's really sad. We kind of squash them a little bit, especially for parents that are unconscious, and that's not me trying to be mean to anybody.
You don't know what you don't know.
Because I know so much more now than I did 8 years ago that I wish I would have known with my first son. But I didn't know at the time. But
you're also
I know now.
Unprogramming.
Right. I'm unprogramming and reprogramming myself and doing the same for him, and then the same with my kids. But they're so amazing. They say the coolest things, and they have that knowing. They have this intuition. And it's really amazing. And I wish we could treat kids more like just people instead of lesser people,
because we're the parent and they're the child.
Right. There's a whole like, I'm a grown-up and I'm older than you and bigger than you, so I know better. But we really don't. We've been programmed so much, we don't know better. The kids are the ones that know better. They say the most amazing things, and if you will just listen and try to hear it from their perspective, they have.
I love
like sometimes it'll mind fuck you a little bit. You're like, oh shit, that's deep from a 5-year-old or a 2-year-old. So really just listen to your kids and just allow them to develop that intuition from a young age, because that's going to serve them so well in life.
It's very powerful.
Yes.
So I'm going to read these comments real quick. We
Yeah.
have several. Okay, so I don't know what it's doing. But you can chill out, bro.
Here, I'll pet you.
Okay.
I'll pet you.
Let's see. We already read that one. Mallory said our human brains go into analyzing and protection mode, and we talk ourselves out of what our intuition is leading us to. 100%. And that's why I say all the time, get out of your head.
Yeah.
Go to your heart. Like, don't make decisions from your head space.
Right.
Because your analytical mind, your egoic mind, all these things will like talk you out of it. Go from your heart, your gut, whatever you want to call it.
Because sometimes things just aren't logical, but they just make sense.
She also said, Mallory said, I tell people intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Absolutely.
Which is true. And then she said, kids are untainted, not programmed yet.
I know. They're
100%.
such perfect little people. It's so amazing. I have three. I have 3 little boys, and they drive me nuts. Hence the mom brain. But they're so cool. And if you have a kid, your kid is cool too.
Yeah.
Just let them
be cool.
Here.
So another thing about, when you use it, not only the stronger does it get, right, but the more clear the signs, I think, would be. Is a good way to describe it. So yes, the strongness gets there.
Yeah.
But more signs, you don't have to wait for so many signs the next time. You already know what to look for.
Right.
And I think you can make decisions quicker because of that.
Yeah, I would say so.
Lori said, right, I learned so much from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lori's around kids a lot too.
They're the best.
So I was going to tell you guys 4 steps to follow your intuition that are just quick, easy things. So number 1 is be present. So being present and being completely there, not anywhere else, just being there in the moment. Listening, letting go of the thinking and listening. And when I mean listening, I'm like, listen to your intuitive inner self, your higher self, any of those things. Allow yourself to feel what there is to feel, and then act, respond to what is happening then. There's another exercise you can do. I tell people, like, if you have a decision to make, so you can sit there and you can put a decision in each one of your hands. So let's say it's to take this job or not. So there's this promotion coming up or whatever, and you're like, should I take it? Should I not take it? Okay. And put one on each hand, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to ask the question, should I take this promotion? And make sure it's a yes or no question. I feel like that's important too.
Yeah.
So one hand is yes, one hand is no. And then I want you to like feel in your hand the question. And don't go with a thing that's heavier. Most people by default will be like, well, this weighs more. I've got to pick this thing.
Yeah.
But if you're going with energy, you actually do the opposite, because you want the free flowing, the lighter thing to do. That's going to be less
happy.
Not that either one's wrong. I mean, even if you pick the other decision, it's just going to be more work. It's going to take a little bit more. But feel the thing that's lighter. Go with that thing.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good.
So Mallory said, Ev has been saying this new phrase all the time. Get it out of your head, Mom. Clearly at 4, she's so aware.
Oh my God.
That's so cute.
That's awesome.
I love that. Kids are really smart, I'm telling you guys.
Adorable.
They already know.
They really do.
So also the definition, just for those who don't know, of what your intuition is a thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive things, feelings, rather than knowings or thoughts of conscious knowings. You can also think of it as like, you want to go like caveman, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
A sense of intuition would be knowing there's a saber-toothed tiger in the bushes about to jump out and bite me. Eat me for dinner.
You have to survive. There were survival instincts where you just had to know. And then we have those today. I mean, babies have those today. Babies are born and they know how to like suck at your breast and like drink. True. Like they just know. That's just
so just
built
tapping into
us.
those things, even with your intuition.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone who's watching that regularly uses your intuition? I'm just curious. Or maybe because you're watching this, you're going to start trying to use it more, because the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So I'm just curious, does anybody use their intuition? Maybe.
Yeah. Or is there a recent experience where you've trusted your intuition and like it turned out really amazing? Yeah. I'm trying to think if so many things happened this last year. It's already 2020.
Right?
Yeah.
So many things.
It's just
I'll tell you mine. My intuition was the stuff that I went through last year. My intuition was to not get in the muck of it. Like, yes, to feel what there was to feel about situations, but then to take power back and to consciously, from the moment it started happening, working on my inner self. Like, literally from the moment. Like, it's like I knew this was the thing I had to do. Without a doubt, without a question, I just knew, and I just started working on it immediately. Like,
like that's how we're going to get through this. Like, this is what needs to happen.
And
so you need to do it,
This is for the next level. You asked to level up, here we go.
And you're like, oh shit. Oh God.
Basically,
okay.
Like, all right, I'm ready for
here we go.
Mallory said always, but tapping deeper into it intentionally. About using her intuition. That's awesome. So it's important. Like I said, it's muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. That's why, like, even if you're walking somewhere, right, and it's like super dark out, have you ever felt like someone's watching you? Like, you just know, you feel it. Like, I feel like that's intuition. That's like a saber tooth in the bushes. Like, you're aware that someone else's energy is present and watching. If you can't see them, you're definitely aware.
Oh my God, that's a creepy thing. But still, that, like, if you do, if you're walking out at night or you're somewhere, like, listen to those intuitions. If it's like a danger, like something's weird, something's dangerous, I'm feeling some weird vibe, like, get out of that situation. Listen to your intuition. It's trying to tell you something, because we are all connected to the collective conscience, and I mean, that goes in with intuition too. If we're all connected and you can sense these other things, you can sense other people's intentions.
And energy.
And so if you sense some not good intentions, like, get out of there. Trust your intuition. Don't ignore stuff like that. That's
like a prime example, I think, that, you know, in some bad events, like shootings or whatever, people saying things like that, like, that they felt something was off before, so
like
they left.
In the air. It's just like, I felt something in the air.
So I left, and then later on that night it happened or something. So that's why it's important to trust those things, because your life could literally depend on it sometimes.
Have you ever walked into a room and, like, the energy is just, like, thick and just heavy, and you're like, I don't like this. I don't want to be here.
I'm gonna leave this room.
I'm gonna get out of here. There's a emergency at home.
So Mallory said, meditation and manifestation, anchoring down a new vibration and not being affected by anything or anyone outside of me. So important, because we cannot control our external factors. The only thing we actually have control is our internal world. So that's why it's so important to work on yourself, because the world's gonna happen. Shit's gonna happen. That's life. And you can't control it, but you can control how you respond to it. You can control how it affects you vibrationally. Like I was just talking to that with a client earlier. It's what we talk about all the time. If you're vibrating up here and something happens, it's not going to be as big of a deal. Like, yeah, it's going to suck, whatever, but you'll get through it. But if you're vibrating lower and something happens, that's why sometimes it's just like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, you're just like, I'm done. That's it.
So, just like, this sucks.
Yep, pretty much. So you just got to do you. Just focus on yourself and taking care of that. So, what other things could we say about intuition where it's helped out?
Oh my gosh, it's just...
I feel like that happens in our awakening journey too. Like you said, it's just like
because you have to follow these things that seem kind of weird or that aren't familiar, and you just kind of have to go with it. Be like, I'm not really sure about this, but maybe you do a quick... I don't like to say Google search because I don't like Google, but a quick search on the internet,
a database
search.
It's fine. Just ignore him. He's being weird tonight. I don't know what his problem is.
He's just making me laugh. But just look into it, guys. I can't tell you how many times I've just been curious about something that I knew nothing about, and something inside was like, just look into that a little bit more. Just kind of go with it and see what you find. And then I end up, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really cool and this is really helpful. And then you end up like buying a book and reading the book, and it affects like what you do during your daily life, and then it affects your relationship with your kids or your husband or yourself. Like it's kind of a rabbit hole in a sense.
Definitely
if you just follow that one little thing,
a little nugget,
and maybe it turns out to be nothing. That's okay.
You're just one
follow
step closer to something else.
Because you may come back to it later. You're like, oh, okay, I remember when I did that back then, and it wasn't relevant then, but now it is. And so everything is connected. Everything's a puzzle piece, and you just have to just have to go with the flow.
That's true. Well, I think even like for me personally, like when I was first doing Reiki and things like that, so I don't just do Reiki, for those of you who know what I do. I use all the tools in my toolbox. That's why my sessions are different than a typical Reiki session. Mallory said follow the soul nudges. I love that. Yes.
Oh, I like that soul nudge. Yeah.
It's funny though, because when I was following my intuition during these sessions, this is before I actually learned NLP. But I was already doing NLP in these sessions. So it was really cool when I started going to the training. I was like, what? This is like, I was literally already doing this. I was just putting words to what I was doing now. That's really crazy. And I had no knowledge of NLP or anything before that, but I was just following my gut, my intuition. I was like, this is the thing I need to do. I need to have this person do this. And I was like, I remember specifically sitting in the training, just like mind blown, like, oh my God, this is like, crazy.
Holy crap.
This is the coolest thing. Talk about being in sync. So,
that's awesome.
It pays off.
It does pay off. So does anyone like have someone in their life that maybe you're on your awakening journey and you're really listening to your intuition, and you have some people that like doubt you or don't believe you? I know I had to deal with that a few years back, and it's really hard, but just wonder if anyone is dealing with that currently.
I definitely have dealt with that.
Yeah, because it kind of sucks, because it should be a person that like trusts you and believes you, but they're like, that doesn't make any sense, and you don't have the words to quite describe what it is, other than you just know, and they're just like, that's ridiculous. There's no way that you could
that's what's
possibly
funny.
know these things.
I can definitely say I've experienced that, especially when I first started, and people thought I was like probably batshit crazy. I mean, I've heard some crazy things, so I'm just like, whatever. But obviously I planted some good seeds, because sometimes people don't even end up working with me, people that are close to me, but they'll work with somebody else. Yeah. Like complete stranger that they don't even know that does the same thing that I do, which they don't do the same thing because everybody's different, but along the same lines. And it's like, they would have never tried that had I not been talking about it. Yeah. But there's sometimes a weird thing where people won't do things with people that they know. I don't know.
Yeah, there is that too. It's almost like, I don't know, they don't trust your abilities almost. They're like, that's just Ashton.
Or I think, I don't even know if it's that. I think it's like healing. The things that happen in my sessions are very intimate, right? And there's some people that they don't like someone that really knows them to know all.
Oh, like all of your business.
Yeah. So that's part of it too.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's like when you go to a therapist, right? Like it's a neutral third party that you can just tell everybody and tell everybody in your family's crazy, whatever, it doesn't matter, because they're a third party, they don't care. You don't have to see them at the Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. Mallory said, it's part of the journey. I've dealt with it in the past, but as we continue to rise, we're no longer affected by those that question us. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. You just reached this threshold of I don't give a fuck anymore. Because I will tell you, those people eventually over time weed themselves out, because vibrationally they can't hang with you, and that just happens.
Because they just stop understanding you. Because we've talked about this before, like if you're on a different vibration and you're trying to communicate with somebody, it's like walkie-talkies, like one walkie-talkie being on a different channel, and you could be saying whatever, but they can't, the message just isn't getting through because you're not on the same channel. That's kind of how this is. So if you just start trusting your intuition and speaking your truth and just speaking out about the things that matter to you, the people that want to hear that and need to hear that will find you, and then the people that don't, they'll just kind of disappear. They'll kind of slip away. And there's just with little drama, if none. There might be some drama with some, but you just don't let the drama in. You're like, this is what I believe. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to argue. Just peace out.
Mallory said, that's why I love my high vibe people. Hi, Emily. Yeah. High vibe people are the best. And the thing is, when you're living in your truth and speaking your truth and you're working on yourself and you're bringing the best version of yourself into life all the time, you will start attracting more of those people. Mallory said, that's why I loved you immediately, Ashton. Thank you. I loved you immediately.
Me too. I remember when I met her, I'm just like, you're just a good vibe person.
But see, that was your intuition.
I know,
Like knowing that,
just like I'm going to go talk to her, even though I was a little bit shy at the time. I'm not good at introducing myself to people, if you can imagine.
You're great
but I was like,
yourself is what you meant to say.
She was like, corrects me. But yes.
I just love you. I'm helping you.
But you just, you're drawn to someone, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're awesome. And then, you know, here at 2 years later,
almost,
2.5,
almost 3.
3.
It'll be 3 this summer.
Holy God,
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Dang.
Yep. It's pretty
Glad
crazy.
What if my intuition on that?
Well, like, so
then you find friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even for me, like I said, this past year, really, like, I've been working on myself for years, but like really deep diving this year and going in and doing the grunt work and the dirty shit and like bringing
shadow work.
Yeah. Oh, shadow work it's a bitch. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's 100% worth it. I promise you. You will get further faster than anything if you do the shadow work.
Yeah.
It's gonna be uncomfortable as hell at first, but it's gonna be worth it. So like I found the more work that I did this year on the deep stuff, like the deep stuff.
Yeah.
That those types of people, the high vibe people, like the like-minded people, boom, just it's been fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And then it's like I'm a connector, so I'm like, oh, you gotta be Morgan, you gotta be Mallory, like I gotta connect all you guys because that's the grid, that's how we grow. And I just think it always goes back to, like, I talk about one of my favorite things ever to do is lantern festivals. If you've never done a lantern festival,
I have never done one. They seem really awesome.
We should do that. We should do a group lantern festival.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But so I think of, like, you know, this one lantern. It's really bright. It's beautiful, right? And you're shining your light. You're doing this, and then you like let it go and float up in the air. And when you look up in the air, then there's thousands of other lanterns, and it's like, you know, your one light is bright, but when you're together, you're even brighter. So it's so cool to see high vibe people. Like, when I find one high vibe person, I want to connect them with another because I think we're stronger and better together as a collective, because that's what collective consciousness is. Yeah. And
that's how we change things.
Seriously. I mean, that's why a group of monks can go meditate, you know, in a certain city. There's studies on this, and you can look it up. There's science behind it. They can go meditate in a certain city or something that has maybe a high crime rate or whatever. They will just purposely, intentionally meditate on bringing down the crime rate in that area, and it drops. That's so because the collective consciousness, collective people put an intention out and a vibration, and it changed it because it wouldn't allow for the lower vibrational things to happen. Yeah. It's like putting a bubble around it. So Mallory said, we need to connect and do a deep dive. Polly, Jennifer, Ariel, get the deep high vibes peep together. Dude, high vibe I would love that. If we just got Mallory, you bring all your high vibe peeps, I'll bring mine, you bring yours, like, we just bring them all together. You know how crazy that would be? Like, and I mean in the best way possible. We legit need to do that. We would need hours. I will already tell you. When you get a room of high vibe people together, I'm not kidding. Yeah. This is what happens. Like, something happens with time. And it, like, speeds up. Yes. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, where did all this time go? Like, has it been 10 minutes? Holy God, oh my God, 2 hours. 5 hours? What happens? Yeah, that happens. So it would have to be, we'd have to set up a time where we can have a large gap of time together. Because that's why we need to retreat. It's like, it's gonna be so good. Be epic. Because we need more of that. We need the light people, like, clustered together, like, all over the globe, because that's what they're saying. Have to do this in this world, in this industry, in this realm, whatever you want to call it. That's the new thing that's happening more now. Is that those like-minded people are gathering together and being even more powerful once they're physically together in a space. Yeah. Because you get all that energy. Yes. Like, in time and space. Yes. Together, yeah. It's pretty crazy. Oh my God. Valerie says it's so true. Transcends time. Yeah. That's why I've named my business Transcend Wellness. Nobody gets, like, why. Nobody gets that? No, because most people don't know what the words mean. Really? But I got that immediately. I was like, well, damn, that's because you're the same. I know. That's we're the same walkie-talkie. No, I've literally had people like, you can't get better than wellness because wellness is just what. I'm like, actually, you can. Like, there's something beyond that. Just being full alignment. Right. Like, so most people just think, yes. Like, you can't transcend wellness. Yeah. Oh I've had some funny stuff said to me over the years, guys. If I should have just wrote a book of all the things people said. It'd be pretty humorous. But anyways, yes, that's what happens. Huh. Oh well. So I think it's interesting. Another thing about intuition, I think that people who have other abilities, like talking to dead people, or guides or whatever. I think that's just another thing of tapping into your intuition.
Yeah, like
a knowing.
The clairs.
Yeah, the clairs.
Yeah, the clairs. We're clairsentient, I think. Was the
the knowing.
Yes, the knowing.
Mine's the knowing and feeling.
And clairempathetic or something.
Maybe
is kind of
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like empathy.
I don't see things. I don't hear things.
I know. Like
but I know
that's the cool stuff, right?
I know.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not cool to be like, oh shit, I see somebody over there. They just popped up. I don't know if that's how it works.
Both of you should come in February. Lightworkers Unite.
Where in February? What?
What's
happening in February?
She's wanting to get all of the light workers together up in the Pacific Northwest region. Mine is visions and dreams. I could totally see that, Molly.
That's what I would love to have visions and dreams. My dreams, I don't know if it's just because I'm tired, but I very rarely dream, and if when I do,
I don't either. But it's
always
I'm doing a lot of work
saving
in my
the world shit, and I'm like, can I just fly through space sometime or something?
I do a lot of work in my dreams at night.
Yeah, but then I don't hardly remember them. I would love to have more visual stuff, and I'm sure if I focused on it,
you could,
and did the work, I could improve on it.
If you wanted
But darn it, why can't things be easy sometimes?
Because we were just talking about this. You gotta
I know, but I've done so much work already. I'm just kidding. I know. There's always work to do. It's
never ending.
It's just a joke. Yeah.
You're funny.
I am funny.
It's all good. So, does anybody else have any of those abilities? I know a couple people that are watching right now have abilities. Do you want to share what your abilities are?
Share your abilities, yeah.
I mean, Mallory shared that hers are visions and dreams. Does anybody else have anything? Unless you don't want to be put on the spot, you don't have to answer.
Because you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. But yeah.
Or do you have any questions about anything we've covered so far? Anybody? Questions, comments, concerns?
Concerns.
I'm concerned for you. See, look, that's intuition. That's what just happened. Same way. No.
Talking about really weird things.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't think you're right in the head.
You're right, I'm not in the head. I'm outside the box.
That's a good answer.
I know, that's what I try. So, does anybody have anything that they want to share about their intuition or what's helped them? Or I'm curious to know, because for me, being a kid, like I said, I used to have deja vu all the time as a kid. Like,
I think
all the time.
Now that you mention it,
I don't remember. I still have it now, but not like the frequency I did as a kid.
Right. Every now and then, but I did have them a lot more as a kid, and I remember thinking, like, what the hell is this? This is
I think
so
that's
weird.
But to me, that's like being in tune with your intuition, and then something switched where, we talk about parents and programming and turning those things off. Emily said, I do channel, yo. Okay, so Emily, I'm curious. So when you're channeling, how would you describe that for yourself? Is it just a knowing? Do you see things? Do you hear things? Like, what is it for you? Is it just your intuition? Like, something's coming up and this is the thing you're supposed to talk about? Like, because I don't know.
Channeling's fascinating.
For me, when I've channeled, not on purpose, obviously, I say not on purpose, but anytime I'm speaking, like speaking events, or anytime I'm talking about the things that I do, like, I straight up just channel, like, sometimes
get in the flow, kind of.
Oh yeah,
it's just like
100%. Like, it just comes out and I was like, damn, that's good. Like, damn, I should have been recording this. Damn, I should have written that down. But then it's gone as soon as I share it. Like, it's just like that's what needed to come out in this moment. It happens a lot of time in my sessions too with people. Yeah. Like, that's where I said again, my intuition taps in, and like I'm just like boom, 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 just spitting this information out at them. They're like, yes, that's right, and all these things. Like, or I'm like pulling up something. I'm like earlier, I had a session and this person was talking about something with their back, and I'm like, yeah, that's a person, and I was like, I was just going through the things, and they're like, yes, that's exactly what it is. I was like, I know, like I don't know,
like,
but I know.
I know.
She said all the clairs, so she can do. So you get all of them.
Dang.
I feel like that would be overwhelming for me because I'm a very like anxious. Like too much stimulation makes me anxious. So I can only imagine how that would be. But that's why you have it, not me.
That's
and you're
awesome.
You rock that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dang. She said, I let the light go through my body and I translate. That's pretty awesome. Just saying.
That is really cool. I need to do more work. Because honestly, I'm very far in my awakening journey. But I like to check out a lot because all this stuff that goes on in the world, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like,
sometimes
it becomes a lot for
that,
me.
Though. You need to ground yourself.
Right. But I take it to the binge level where you're just like binging shows and like playing like a video game for an hour. Because for me, it's an escape into like this other world where
I do that.
Like
I play video games.
Yeah, but I like basketball. I love the story video game. Like right now, I'm playing The Witcher, but I'm in like Tomb Raider, and then I was playing like Horizon Zero Dawn. So it's always like
there's still like
the hero, and there's it's fun to escape into that for me. And I'm like, why would I rather do that than work on myself? So that's something I'm currently working on with myself. Is like, because I could take 1 hour out of my video game time and like meditate and like try to like
time out. Hold on, this is a perfect example to use this.
Yeah. Oh.
First of all, there are different forms of meditation. That can be a form of meditation. Second of all, you could be working on yourself. You don't know what your subconscious is taking from this, from you playing this game, especially because of the storyline or whatever, or something you're learning from it that you're actually using in real life.
Well, I'm not going to fighting monsters in real life, but...
Or are you? Because you're an activist, like you are.
I know, there are, but not like, there are monsters out there.
But you could be quiet, not talking about anything.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember the Morgan that I met a couple years ago.
I know.
Was not as outspoken.
She was different.
Okay. I'm reading these real quick. Mallory said, love your positivity and light. Gonna love all my family. Let's get together soon. Yes, Mallory, let's get together soon. So Emily said her main is clairaudient and clairsentient. Okay, so sentience. So yours is feeling and hearing, like things.
Yeah,
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's popping up. It'll go away in a second.
It's okay.
That's pretty cool. So yours is just a knowing and a hearing. I think I'd be weirded out if I heard something. I'm like, what the. Like, I think that's probably why mine's not that. I think that's why mine's just like...
Do you ever get the ringing in your ear? It just randomly comes in. Like, I've heard different things. Okay, so here's
downloads
the weird... So I've heard it's downloads, and then other times I hear it's like 5G radiation. So I'm like, which the fuck is it?
Well, I think it's what you decided it is. Remember?
Right, I knew you were going to say that.
Because you're going to do it.
I know. I was like, you're going to say that. But, so yeah, I don't ever think it's the 5G stuff. But I'm like, oh, maybe that's just a download of something. And then I'm like, I wonder what that is. Is that going into my... obviously, it's going into my subconscious. But I'm like, oh, interesting. Because it's very clear for a few seconds, and then it goes away.
I would say definitely at the beginning of my awakening journey, like when I first started awakening, that was happening all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it's few and far between.
Yeah.
Like, it'll still happen, but not, like, at the consistency that it was really happening all the time. To the point where I was almost concerned, like,
right, you're like,
on my ears?
Wrong in my ear? Yeah.
Because, the tinnitus or whatever, I'm like, no, but this is, I don't know, it's different.
Because my hearing is fine.
Yes, ringing. Do you get the ringing in your ears too, Emily?
Yeah.
And is it all the time, or is it random?
It's random, because it's never, like, a certain time of day.
That is him snoring on your leg.
He's super chill right now.
He's grounding you.
But yeah, it's just there. And then while it's happening, I am thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a download of something. Yep. I wonder what this is for.
See, and I think that has to do with your perspective, your consciousness, and your intuition.
Right.
Because you're aware that it's happening, so then you're open to receiving it. Even more so than if you weren't paying attention.
That's true. Because now I do notice it more. Whereas before I was like, I would notice it.
Like,
but I didn't know it was a download. So now I'm like, oh, cool, it's a download. I'm getting something. Thank you. And I can, thank whoever.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks for that.
Appreciate that. I'll put that in my little bag.
Yeah.
Come back.
High five. Yeah.
So we were covering, I know you just hopped on, some of you guys, we're talking about intuition and different things like that. So if you have something you want to share as far as like your intuition or what you experience with that, does that happen a lot in your life? Put it in the comments, because we'll definitely talk about it.
Yes.
My computer's about to die, so.
No.
It's fine.
It's okay. It's about 8%.
It'll be good.
It'll be fine.
Don't worry about it.
It'll be fine whenever it needs to be, yeah.
Yeah, because we get like 7 minutes left, it'll be an hour, and that's usually what we do. So, it's perfect timing.
It's perfect timing.
Intuition. Didn't you have to plug it in?
It just happens. Oh my gosh.
So, I'm trying to think of other times that's happened a lot in my life, especially when I was younger. Yeah. My intuition... I sometimes purposely ignored my intuition when I was younger. I was very stubborn sometimes with it. Like, I knew I should do the opposite thing that I did, and I did it anyway, and then it bit me in the ass, and I'm like, damn, listen. But I learned my lessons from it, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Again, like Morgan said earlier, that's part of the journey sometimes is, maybe I should listen to that. Yeah. Let's see how much, it's almost like it's a test to ourselves. We're like, let's see how much pain I can cause myself till I finally learn this lesson, so I'll start listening to it in the beginning.
Right.
I will tell you now, I do not really, for the most part, second guess my intuition. It does every now and then, but it's for like little things. Big things, I don't ever second guess it.
Oh, yeah.
She said, yes, whenever someone randomly pops in my head, I think they're thinking about me. I agree with that. Yeah. And I will say that because my grandma and I are like this.
I've never met your grandma, but I love her. Because I love your stories.
I know.
About you too.
Because that's how we are. Like, so we are so connected. Like, I know we're soul family and we've been together for many lifetimes, but like, I can think of her and she'll text me or call me and vice versa. And we do that all the time.
That's so cool.
Like, all the time. Like, and it's been like that my whole life with her, and it's just really funny because we're like, I was just thinking about you. So it doesn't even shock either one of us anymore.
Right. You're just like, oh, it's just normal.
Yeah. I'll be like, she'll think of me, right? And I don't know this, but then I call her. She's like, I was just thinking about you. I was like, I know. I got the call in my head, so I just like, what's up? Like, it's just funny.
So awesome.
Being on the same wavelength, intuition, and really, I think, in a way, that's all intuition is frequency, right? Like being on the same wavelength as somebody else, like telepathy and all those things. I mean, there are certain people, like, that happens to us sometimes, like, being on the same wavelength. Like, I know what you're thinking. I don't consider myself telepathic, but when we're in the same vibration.
Like, I get it. I understand.
Dude, I know what you're saying.
No. Yeah. Because I'm like, I can't say the words, but you get it. Okay. So I have to
and there's certain people, like, that happens with, and I'm just like, wow. Yeah. Like, all the time. Like, we're just... We don't even have to talk. Like, we can just...
You're just sitting staring at each other.
Seriously, and it sounds...
It's just like laughing.
It sounds fucking weird, but that's exactly what it's like. So I feel like I should practice that this year. You said you did that yesterday.
I tried. I did. I was like, I wonder if I could contact Ashton. I was trying to tell you, send me a Facebook message to tell me that you got my message. But you didn't because it didn't get through.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so here's the thing.
It was an experiment. I was trying.
Okay. Yeah. I want to do that more this year. I want to experiment. And if anybody else wants to be on this, let me know. Yeah. But there are meditations that you can do. And the more you meditate separately, couples can do this too. Couples that meditate together are fucking powerful. I will tell you that much right now. Yeah. But there's people that can meditate separately and start working on their telepathy, like sending each other messages. And the more you do it, the stronger it gets. So I'm curious. Like, we should really practice that.
We should. I know Jeremy and I like
anybody
to
else
meditate.
Do that? Yeah.
Every now and then, but we're trying to be better at it.
Well, there's, like I said, different forms of meditation. So you sitting by your fire together is meditative.
Oh, we have been doing that more. Yeah.
You're just being present in the moment together. Yeah. Sometimes in silence together. Yeah. You're essentially meditating, is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's true. If you're outside doing work on your land together, you are
now that, oh my God, I love doing that. That's like meditating for me. It's crazy.
And it's grounding.
It is very grounding, yeah.
So, well, that's all I've got about intuition, really.
Yeah. Oh, and I will say on intuition, because Bria was saying whenever people randomly pop in her head, she thinks they're thinking about her. Do you ever have someone pops into your head and you're like, oh, I need to check in on them? And then you message them and they're like, oh, I'm glad you reached out. I was having a bad day, or
that happens all the time.
Something. So if someone does pop into your head, take that as your intuition saying, like, maybe just check in with this person.
Good point. Don't ignore it, because I will tell you that has happened a lot for me too. And it's like, it's the most random thing, so it seems, and then it's like,
you're like, why am I thinking about this person?
Yep.
Not that we don't love her. We're like, oh, it's right, because I was just like washing dishes and like someone popped in my head. Yeah, I'm like, oh,
that's true.
I think, hey, how you doing?
I think that's a ping. Yeah, like it's definitely a ping from your intuition.
Yeah, so follow those. Yeah,
follow your pings, people.
Pings.
All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to share about it?
No, I don't. I did a lot today. Yeah.
All right, well, that's all we've got for the night then for this episode of the Awaken Vlogcast. So we do these, if you're a new viewer, we do these every other week. So the next one will not be next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, and we do them at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can also go join our group that I put in the top of this video, the Journey to Awake. Sorry, that's my other one. The Awaken blog, I know the Awaken Vlogcast group,
yeah,
or community. You can go add yourself to the group, and we put all of these episodes in there. You can follow either one of our websites. What's your website?
intentionallyminimalish.com.
The mine's transcendwellnessok.com, and we upload all of the past episodes on there, so you can literally go back. Like you can go on either one.
Go to
of
episode
them.
1.
Yeah, I mean this is episode 27. You can go back to the beginning if you want, but yeah. We did a lot of groundwork last year, so this year it's like these are ramping up a lot, and we've got some cool stuff coming for you guys, and I can't wait.
Yeah. Be awesome.
And we're bringing other people on here too, so Emily would be a good person. Just
sounds like it.
Just saying, keep that in mind. If you want to ever be a guest, Emily, you could message me and let me know. But that's it. That's all I got for tonight. And we will see you guys on the next Awaken Vlogcast. So not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Peace out, guys.